Welcome to Better Builds Nation, where the goal here is to inspire you to create better builds so you may elevate your gameplay and rise above the competition. In today's video, we will be discussing the most used cards in the Altergeist deck. This list is primarily for people who don't like net decking and just want to get a good general idea of what to run in their version of the deck. Or perhaps you have a tough time facing your Altergeist matchup. This list will help you have a better understanding of what your opponent will be using because these cards are ran in nearly every single version of the deck. If you guys would like to see the top 10 text for this deck or my version of the build, let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, the most used monsters. Marionetter that sets an Altergeist trap from the deck when it is normal summoned. Also, it can target 2 Altergeist cards, one in the graveyard and 1 Altergeist card on the field. Special summon the monster from the graveyard while sending the card from the field to the graveyard. Multi-Faker the Playmaker. It can be special summoned when you activate a trap besides the damage step, and then can special summon another Altergeist monster from the deck in defense position, usually Silkatus. Melusi can attack your opponent directly and can send one of your opponent's cards to the graveyard after inflicting battle damage, as well as having the capability of searching out an Altergeist monster when it is sent to the graveyard. Silkatus can be used to bounce your opponent's cards back to their hand during either player's turn, while at the same time recycling Multi-Faker back into your hand so you may special summon it out again. This deck also utilizes hand traps such as Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre to disrupt your opponent's plays. Moving on to the most used spells, there are not many spell cards that are ran in this deck, however Pot of Duality is used in almost every version of the deck. Whether it is a 3 of or used at 2 along with 2 Pot of Desires, very few decks did not use either of these cards in their Altergeist decks. Next is the most used trap cards. Personal Spoofing, which allows you to search any Altergeist monster by returning another Altergeist card to the deck from either the field or hand. It also combos off well with Multi-Faker, although the combo only works upon the initial activation and not if it was already face up on the field. Altergeist Protocol can be used to negate your opponent's monster effects by sending 1 Altergeist card to the graveyard. Also, it can prevent your opponent from negating your Altergeist effects on the field. Altergeist Manifestation is the deck's searchable monster reborn that combos off well with Multi-Faker, as well as having the capability to recycle Altergeist traps from your graveyard back to your hand. Anti-Spell Fragrance is one of the best floodgates for this deck because it doesn't use that many spells, so it is not hindered by having to set their own spells. Infinite Impermanence also fits well into this deck because it is a literal hand trap that can be activated on your opponent's first turn and can combo off with Multi-Faker to get 2 monsters on the board before your turn has even started. This deck also has the capability of utilizing the Solemn Brigade, Solemn Strike and Solemn Judgment being the 2 more popular choices, and Warning being used only when the deck has enough space for it. That'll wrap it up for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. Linkuriboh is one of the better Link monsters for this deck. Having the capability to combo off with Melusi to search out Multi-Faker helps increase the consistency of this deck tremendously. Hextia is the main Link monster of this deck. It gains attack equal to the monster it points to, as well as having the capability of tributing the monster it points to negate a spell or trap. It can also add an Altergeist card from your deck when it is sent to the graveyard. Borlo Dragon is not a card that the deck goes into very often, however it is a strong Link for choice that they can bring out if necessary. Altergeist Prime Banshee and Kadolga are mostly in there just because it is an Altergeist deck, so they can be utilized, however they are overshadowed by Hextia. Nightmare Phoenix is one of the more popular generic Link 2s that can also be used to pop your opponent's back row if needed. But anyways guys, that is my list. Tell me if there's anything I missed and what you'd like to see next in the comments down below. If at any point in time you enjoyed this creation, then give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to join the nation.